Let's create a very basic game in which we guess a number. So we can get input from the keyboard using the function input, where as parameter you can say enter a number, and of course you want to store that number. So let's say we store it in variable x and output that. You can run it, and you want to add some space in there, otherwise you're typing right after the text. So now you can guess a number and it outputs the same number. Now of course we need to have a number to guess, so a random number which can be a certain value. I know 7 is often used, so let's put that. And now we need to know, is our number equal to the random number? So if x is equal, this checks for equality, the equality sign twice, then we can say you guessed correctly. So if we run it and we guess number 7, you'll see it doesn't actually output anything because the types are different. So if we say the type of x, and if we output the type of random number, you'll see that one is of the type string, keyboard input, and the other is of the type integer or number. So what you need to do is to convert x into an integer. Now you can do that by typing x is integer x. If you do it again, you run the program again, you'll see that the text or string is converted into a number. And let's say 1, you'll see both are of the same type. And we show the type just by calling type with the variable. So in this case, now if we run the program and we say 7, you'll see we guessed it correctly. Now in order to have a game, you want to repeat the process until the user guesses the number correctly. So while x is not, and is not is written like this, while x is not random number, you want to keep guessing the number, and that will repeat forever until x is equal to the number, and in this case it outputs you guessed correctly. Now it only exits this loop if the number is equal, so you can remove this and make it into this. Now make sure you have 4 spaces indentation, otherwise Python won't run your code and complain. So if you run the program, you'll see that we can guess the number. However, only if we guess the number correctly, it stops the program. Now, if the number is not correct, you want to output wrong number. And of course, we can remove everything on top here. Now, of course, x needs to be defined. So define it as -1, which is never the number. So now you can start guessing. And you'll see if we guess it correctly, it exits. However, it immediately tells us the guess is incorrect. And that's because it starts with the it immediately outputs that in the loop. So we can say if x is not -1, otherwise continue. So now if we run it, you'll see it doesn't immediately output the wrong number text, only after we start typing, right? If we run it, you'll see there is no wrong guess here. If we guess the right number, you'll see it outputs guessed correctly. Now, of course, our random number is hard-coded and always the same. However, you can use random numbers in Python using the random module. So that's included by default. And what you want to import is randint, which is a function to generate random numbers. And you want, for example, a number between 0 and 10 that you output. There's no underscore here. Sorry. If you run it, you'll see it immediately outputs a random number between 0 and 10. And each run it's a different number, right? So you can download this program and play around and make your own random number guesser from scratch. This is just one way to implement it.